Okay, and then this is the Jabra PanaCast 20. It looks pretty good. This is a very good lighting environment. This is a key light over here, a lamp here, backlighting here. Natural light is obscured with blackout blinds. So this is a pretty good lighting environment. This is the closest to studio-like lighting environment that I have. I work from home, and so in this environment, this is my daily lighting and framing and all of that. You can see that we have the software right here. Go ahead and look at it. We've got our camera controller, which popped up in another window, so I have to add that. Give me just a second. Here we go. So here are the control options. Normally you would have a preview here if my camera wasn't in use. Right now it's in use because I'm filming this video. Intelligent zoom was on. This is off. So this is, backing up to where I am. This is my lovely messy room. I'm realizing all of the things that are on my desk. But this is just the regular setting, and then I can also zoom in on my own. The increments to zoom are nice and small. I do really appreciate that. I don't care for when a camera has very, very big increments that you can only make big jumps, because I want my image to be really fine-tuned to exactly what I need it for. So I do appreciate how small these increments are. Same for the panning is okay, and you can set up to two presets. So, say I really like this spot, that's one preset, and then now I'm back to it, and then we go. Wait, I haven't used this, so. Oh, you have to hit save to preset. Duh. Okay, so here, save to preset, save it to 1. We go to 2, go to 1, 2, 1. So, and 2 is fine. I feel like Jabra really likes to target business, and 2 presets is pretty good for your average, I don't know, tech professional, someone who's working from home and is in Zoom meetings all day. 2 presets is probably fine. The picture-in-picture mode is very interesting because that is to target people who are wanting to still have themselves while they focus on something else. So say I really, here we go. It'll go in on my face, and then I can use this to say I'm selling my microphone. I can zoom in really, really close on my microphone and do all of the talking about the features, and here I am selling my product, and at the same time you can see my face and how I'm emoting and how I'm describing the product. So that picture-in-picture mode is interesting. I do find it kind of annoying that the only picture-in-picture that you can choose is to have your face and that you can't swap it. Or set any, preset 1 is this and preset 2 is that. I wish you could do that. You can't. It's just whatever this is. So, but I do like the intelligent zoom. I just turned the intelligent zoom back on. It does a pretty okay job. It does a pretty good job of getting pretty good frame, nice framing. Mid-torso, I have a little bit of headroom. Not too bad. Very similar to the framing that I would normally pick on my own. And then here are our settings for image quality. We can manually adjust brightness. HDR, I don't notice a big difference. I think HDR on webcams right now is still kind of meh. I don't almost ever see anything amazing, impactful from it. The normal things that you would want to do. If you turn off automatic white balance, you do get to manually control it, which is nice. There is no option, though, for manual exposure. You can probably do manual exposure if you wanted to maybe do something in OBS, which is what I'm recording this with. You could maybe do that. Open up properties of the device, do configure video, and then change your exposure from there. Oh, no, you can't. I just opened it up and it's locked. So you are stuck with their exposure no matter what. Their exposure, though, at least in this case, looks pretty good. It doesn't do that auto adjust thing that I hate from Brio. You can see a little bit of it happening, and actually I'm going to go ahead and hide these. Oh, that's not what I want. Hide this and hide this. There we go. And you can see maybe a little bit of adjustment, but not nearly as noticeable as the Brio does, so that's pretty good. I like that. And then now let's show some different lighting environments. So we've got this big key light. We're going to start by turning that one off. Maybe. There we go. Adjusts pretty well. And then we have this lamp. That lamp is doing all the work right now in this situation. There we go. So with just the backlighting, I will say that I feel like the Brio handled that a little bit better, and it probably handled it the best between the Brio, the OBSBot, and the Jabra. But it's okay. You can see that maybe frame rate kind of takes a hit because there's not enough light, which happens. It's pretty normal. And then now if we turn off the backlighting and then maybe just turn on the lamp, that's what that looks like without the backlighting. We've got some really deep shadows here, some overexposure here because the camera is struggling to, oh, there we go. It kind of figured it out because it's trying to figure out what to do when we have something that's really well lit and something that is poorly lit behind us. And that's a big challenge for webcams, and it did figure it out. It looks pretty good despite it being dark in the background. So we turn it off. This is only monitor light, and then I forgot that I had that on, so it's auto adjusting. Yeah. So here is our, ooh, I just wanted to turn off intelligent zoom. There we go. So this is our natural lighting. It is, I don't know, an hour-ish before sunset, maybe. The Pacific Northwest. It's overcast, so it's not super bright. It's not the best lighting environment, but this is one of the more similar lighting environments I would expect someone who is, you know, maybe working from home and just joining meetings rather than someone who needs to simulate a studio environment like I usually do. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good, but I also wanted to be able to give all of these different distinctions so that you can see kind of how they compare between cameras and across cameras. It does look pretty good though. I don't mind it at all. If I were someone who was just joining in for a meeting and didn't need everything to look picture perfect, I think I would be pretty happy with this. This is a pretty good environment, a pretty good video. There it is with a little bit of that backlighting on, and then, you know, there's maybe a lamp on in the room. So it does adjust pretty quickly, which I appreciate. And I don't know, I think I look pretty good. As with all cameras, the more light you give it, the better that it's going to look. Yeah, so I think it looks good. Oh, and this is, what are these settings? This is at the device default. So let's change the resolution. This is 1080p, which looks like that was the default. So it was already on 1080p, and the highest frames per second that I can go to, it looks like, is 30. So that is probably the biggest downside, is that there's no way to get to 60. And what's a little bit frustrating about that is that this camera should have 4K, and I'm pretty sure. And it's wild that it's not showing up as an option. Yeah, 4K, and it's not showing up as an option for me. To select a custom resolution. Oh, there it is. It shows it. It's here now. Okay. Okay, so let me turn it off, switch it to that. Just a second. Okay. So here's 4K. You can tell it's 4K because the resolution's so much bigger. I do have to shrink it to make it capture properly. Did not want to show off my room. And the zoom isn't working now, so that's a little bit annoying. It might just be because I changed the resolution and that confused it, so maybe if I reboot the software it'll be okay. But yeah, for some reason it's not. It doesn't want to zoom at all. Let's see if I can do the intelligent zoom, if it'll figure that out. Can it force it? The light blinked like it was trying to make it, but it's not. It just won't. Can we go to a preset? It just won't. Fascinating. Okay. But, so this is what 4K, also 30 frames per second looks like. So the frames per second part shouldn't look too different, but this is what the 4K version looks like. And you would want to zoom. I will zoom in OBS instead, just because this is not wanting to work. So give me just a second. Oh, even zoom in OBS is not wanting to work. Fascinating. Okay, well, we can always do that. It's a little bit better framing. Hide some of my room. There we go. But yeah, so this is a similar framing. That was why I wanted to be able to crop it, just so that you can see comparatively what it looked like in the 1080p, apples to apples. So that's kind of what it looks like. That's the best I can get. Annoying that I can't zoom in. And you know, the funny thing about it is that I don't even see a setting here to switch between 4K and 1080 in the software. So that is a little bit of a bummer, because you would think, yeah, here's this, here's, no. Okay. You would think you would want to be able to switch it. Most people, I'm using OBS, most people aren't using something sophisticated like OBS. Sophisticated. People aren't using things like that. If they're just jumping into a Zoom meeting, they just want it to work. So it's kind of annoying that it's not in the controller on its own. But maybe that's not the end of the world. I don't know. Brio, I don't think lets you select that either, and so maybe OpSpot doesn't either. So maybe I'm complaining for no reason. Yeah. All right. But yeah, this is what it looks like.
Muy buenas. Voy a hacer un pequeño video resumen, aunque lo suyo será complementarlo junto con la review escrita, ¿ok? Sobre esta webcam. Bueno, aquí os dejo el cable, que por si hay dudas, va de un USB, bueno, normal de toda la vida, hasta un USB-C aquí detrás de la webcam. Luego, en este caso es la versión con soporte, que significa que tiene esto de aquí, ¿vale? Es de rosca. Puedes alargarlo o dejarlo más chico, ¿vale? Y la base es muy estable, ¿vale? El momento que lo dejas en la mesa, esto se queda muy rígido. Luego, voy a quitar un momento el soporte, que veis es muy fácil, es de rosca, tiene más ciencia. Aunque lo puedes hacer también en el soporte, también puedes colocar la webcam así, ¿vale? Con este pestañita para colocarlo, por ejemplo, encima del monitor. Ok, dicho esto, como veis tiene 3 cámaras. Para grabar a 180 grados, 90 grados, haciendo énfasis a quien está hablando en ese momento. Y, a ver, a modo de resumen, sinceramente, no conocía este tipo de productos de primera mano antes de tener este. Y, a ver, para hacerlo una comparativa como en coches, es como si te compras un Mercedes de alta gama, un Lexus, pero de las webcam, ¿vale? A ese nivel. No le puedo poner pegas alguna. También vais a ver en la review escrita un pantallazo del software, el cual lo instalé en Windows 10 sin problemas. Es súper intuitivo, no hace falta tener ningún conocimiento previo para saber usarlo. Lo que pone es la opción que es y es muy fácil. Lo que sí es verdad que recomiendo instalarlo, porque si no, por defecto la webcam tiene ciertas opciones que luego no podéis modificar. En cambio, con el software, pues lo mismo, no quieres que esté 180 grados todo el rato, sino a 90 grados, es decir, usando solamente esta cámara para que solamente grabe en el medio, y eso lo puedes hacer si tienes el software instalado. Y dicho esto, también la construcción del aparato, pues es muy buena. O sea, es todo muy sólido, no hay crujidos, está súper bien hecho. Obviamente esto creo que es un producto dirigido a empresas, sobre todo en los tiempos que estoy grabando esto, que tenemos el tema de este bicho volando por el aire. es muy necesario quizá para muchas empresas tener esto para poder hacer reuniones, conferencias y mantener su flujo de trabajo, pero con una calidad excepcional. Y porque aparte graba en 4K, sí es importante que tanto como el que mande la señal como el que reciba tenga fibra, porque si no va a ir más despacito, bueno, no se va a ver tan bien. Pero vamos, que para una empresa esto lo veo casi que ya obligatorio. Así que, bueno, pues si tiene o te sobra dinero y quieres como digo yo, el Mercedes o Lexus de alta gama, pues te das el capricho. Porque está claro que la inversión no es baja en esto, pero da unos resultados profesionales, vamos, indiscutibles. Así que nada, espero que os haya servido esta review de este Jabra PanaCast de 4K. Hasta luego.
Bueno, os voy a hacer un pequeño vídeo para mostrar esta cámara Jabra PanaCast, que promete 180 grados panorámicos y en 4K con simplemente enchufar y que funcione. Venía en esta caja, la verdad es que tampoco venía una presentación muy lujosa, pero una simplemente caja de cartón, junto con esta otra caja que es la que nos traía el soporte. Como veis, aquí nos viene un pequeño folleto en el que dice que 180 grados de visión, que por supuesto podemos vernos a nosotros mismos o a un grupo. Aquí veis ya tengo montada la cámara con su soporte, para que veáis un poquitín las tres cámaras que lleva para conseguir los supuestos 180 grados de visión. La cámara es muy simple, como veis, y va conectada aquí con micro USB-C y el cable que ya le he puesto sobre el soporte. El soporte es metálico y muy resistente, eso sí, por lo menos no se nos va a caer, eso está garantizado, porque encima además el soporte pesa bastante. Voy a hacer lo contrario, en vez de que veáis cómo se monta, lo voy a hacer al contrario, al desmontarlo. Es decir, quitamos el cable, desenchufamos, ¿veis? Como veis es un puerto USB-C, desenchufamos cable, quitamos la grapa esta que tiene del cable, realmente vienen tres para sujetarlo, y ahora la cámara simplemente se quita desenroscando de su poste. Ahí queda la cámara desmontada, el poste también le podemos desmontar, esa rosca, y ya está, ya se desmontada. La cámara, como veis, es una cosa muy simple y muy ligera. Ahora intentaré hacer un vídeo de la cámara en funcionamiento para que veamos si coge un ángulo o más o menos estimamos que coge un ángulo previsto de 180 grados.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Don here. Today we're testing out the Jabra PanaCast 20 webcam. So this is just going to be a quick test, and we're going to test it out in a couple different lighting scenarios. So right now I don't have any light on my front here other than my monitor screen. So now I'll try and turn on my little video light here and we'll see how this looks. Alright, so now we got a little video light going on here. I've actually been very impressed with the quality of this camera. It's really good. I love all the settings that it has. I do definitely like the Jabra software that comes with this webcam. You got a lot of different features in it, a lot of different settings and stuff, so that's cool. Alright, so now we're just testing out the intelligent zoom that this guy has. So you can see it zoomed right in on my face here. Feels a little awkward, but you know what? Whoa! So this would be perfect if you were like in a conference room and you know you're up at the front of the room giving a presentation, something like that, you know. Definitely tracks pretty well. So yeah. So a couple negatives I've found with this camera so far. It does run pretty hot. Like after using this camera for maybe a half hour to an hour, This thing is very hot to the touch. It does have a metal enclosure, which I'm sure helps cool down the internals, but that's just something to note. As well as, this is a weird issue that most people probably won't have, but for some reason, when I use this camera with my gaming rig, it causes some type of interference with the audio. I can't use any other types of mics or anything like that. This computer, it seems to work fine. I'm not sure why that happens, but that's just something that I can't figure out how to solve with my gaming computer and this webcam for some reason. But overall, it's still a nice camera. I just think it's a little pricey for what it is, but the quality of the video is very good.